nice to see an array of people here today this morning, and a guest, which is wonderful. Thank you for coming. How is everybody?
Good.
Great. Great. No problems. Everybody's okay. Very good. Glad to hear that. Dedicate this flame to us right here in Huntsville, Alabama, Diamond Platinum Way, which is we work with here. Dedicate this flame to Wendy down in Australia, which is our other place we work with. And I want to dedicate this flame to Angel of Presence. So this morning, as I was getting ready to go, I was walking by the table, and all of a sudden inside I heard, I want to go, I want to go, can I go, please, I'm tired, I need to leave home. Okay. So the angel came with me. The mother and child decided they need to leave home too. To me, this is a beautiful lady that holds her own, stands in her own, and does whatever she pleases. She wanted to go too. And this candle, which is friends, wanted to come too. So as you open yourself up today, think about the service and what I'm going to be working on. Think about your friends. Think about people you know that don't live here. They're nowhere around, that you reach out to all the time. Those are your friends. I dedicate this flame to love and patience.
I go forth and dedicate this flame to the first aspect, to will, divine power.
I dedicate this flame to each one of us, to the aspect of all intelligence and love that you first experienced when you came into this life. Your mother held you for 9 months, and then on the day that you came through, your awakening to the world was a slap on the back. But that was also an acknowledgement, life is not going to be easy, but with the love of your mother and what's happening, you can weather the storm, and you will be filled with love and understanding as you grow. Thank you.
I dedicate this flame to believe.
Believe in yourself, who and what you are, and the power of who and what you are. I dedicate this flame to love. We have all kinds of love. The love for ourselves, the love for humankind, the love for the world itself, love for our animal world. Just basically the fact that that is a part of you that you came divinely with the ability to love and to be loved.
Love is gentle, love is kind, gives the room and takes the time, plays the softest melody, till you find your harmony. Love is gentle, love is kind, walks around inside your mind, opens doors and leaves a key, finds the why of you and me. shoot 1,000 tendrils up to touch your morning sky.
Take your sweet
time with me, come make a ride with me. Watch me flow and let me wash my crystal sky. Love is gentle, love is kind, gives the room and takes the time, plays the softest melody, till you find your harmony. Love is gentle, love is kind, walks around inside your mind, opens doors and leaves the key, finds the why of you and me. Take it slow with me, just let me grow and be free, and I'll shoot 1,000 tendrils up to touch your morning star. Don't be so sure of me, come make a cure of me. Bless my wings and let me find my peace of sky. Love is gentle, love is kind, gives the room and takes the time, plays the softest melody, till you find your harmony. Love is gentle, love is kind, walks around inside your mind, opens doors and leaves the key, finds the why of you and me.
That is my favorite song of all the songs in this song. We'll start off with some decrees. Turn to the first decree in the unit. It's Diamond Platinum Ray decree, and Joy will be leading it.
For those of you who are saying the Diamond Platinum Ray decree each morning, if you're like me, you have been finding a new awakening within some clarity of understanding. And with this, I hope that all of you, if you decide to do the Diamond Platinum Ray every day, you will have awakening within your soul and with your knowing of what and how this is working to assist us all. And together, we
call for the assistance of Saint Germain and Archangel Michael from the center of life and the light within. We call for the Diamond Platinum Ray to come in. I am the Diamond Ray. I am the ray of the awakened soul. I am the activation of the divine blueprint codes. I am the crystal divine light grid. I am the perfect human soul. I am the awakened dormant aspects of DNA. I am the divine alchemy of humanity. I am the ray of the awakened soul. I am the platinum ray. I am the quickening ray of ascension. I am the virtuous frequency of perfection. I am the silver light of intense purity. I am the light structure of the divine swords of Archangel Michael and Excalibur. I am the razor's edge of excellence. I am the twin ray of the golden crested ray. I am the quickening ray of ascension. I am the diamond platinum ray.
Please turn to pages of it. Page 2, please, and we're going to do the great invocation. And
Okay. Yes, okay.
this is Cheryl.
Okay. The Great Invocation. Together,
From the point of light within the mind of God, let light stream forth into the minds of men. Let light descend on earth. From the point of love within the heart of God. Let love stream forth into the hearts of men. May Christ return to earth. From the center where the will of God is known, let purpose guide the little wills of men, the purpose which the masters know and serve. From the center which we call the race of men, let the plan of love and light work out, and may it seal the door where evil dwells. Let light and love and power restore the plan on earth.
And on the next page, the affirmation of the disciple. Becky?
Like the great invocation, this was dictated to Alice Bailey by Dwight Cool. Dwight Cool has a real way with words and decrees that is just beautiful. Together. I am a point of light within a greater light. I am a strand of loving energy within the stream of love divine. I am a point of sacrificial fire, focused within the fiery will of God, and thus I stand. I am a way by which men may achieve. I am a source of strength enabling them to stand. I am a beam of light shining upon their way, and thus I stand. And standing thus revolve, and tread this way the ways of men, and know the ways of God, and thus I stand.
The next one over, I'm sorry, page 7. I am divine love. Remember, that's what you are. You're a creature. You came here. We have love. Love is in all of our hearts. It doesn't matter what the situation is, where we are. And what we've gone through in the last year or so, we've found love. We've dug down in ourselves and we've found love for people that we might have had a little issue with, or situations we've had issues with. We've brought that back out of our whole soul and our heart. Ready?
I am divine love which has no blame. I am divine forgiveness which never turns away. I am divine gratitude which does not cling to misery. I am divine reality which does not wander from what is honest and true. I am God incarnate. I speak with the voice of God incarnate. I move with the will of God incarnate. I love all that is. I am pure love. I am the victory of the light. I am the God within. And all that is not a true expression of the God I am, I shall forgive. I am God incarnate. And all that I have created I can change. I am the victory of love in my world. I am the victory of wisdom in my world. I am the victory of power in my world. I am the victory of God's love, wisdom, and power over all that is less than God. I am the balance of all that I am.
Thank you.
I think we need to do In the Silence. I know we've done that pretty often, but alignment is such a helpful thing, and so 52.
In the silence, there is a sacred place, a secret meeting place. Love is there. In the silence, where every color blends and every rainbow ends, good is there. In the light, now you find that you know peace of mind. In the silence, your path is paved in gold, and all your
Truth is there. God is there.
Well, I'm going to talk this morning about something we all do. Consciously, unconsciously, whether we think about it or we don't think about it. We dream. Now, me, I dream all the time. And not very often that I'm not waking up going, oh, what did I dream? What was it? Now I have to remember it, remember what I dreamed, or think about what I dreamed. I can even take a cat nap and dream. And I have some fleeting something will go through my mind. That probably tells you there's nothing up there, so it really just moves right on through. Anybody have any idea how long ago it was when we started writing down dreams? And I started keeping a journal. We keep journals. All of us keep dream journals. Anybody have any idea?
Half a century?
Would you believe it was 5000 BC when they first decided they wanted to keep up with dreams? And of course, the Romans, they had places they would go to and sleep, so they could, keep up with their dream. Dream and keep up with it and remember what they were dreaming. They dream there all the time. We aren't the only ones that dream. Who all has animals? Yeah, I got a dog, 2 cats. You ever been sitting around and all of a sudden, whoo, cat jumps up like this, and they're looking around? Something must be going to get them. That. Or one of mine will be sleeps on his back, but she sleeps on her back a lot because she's quite heavy. And so she'll roll over and she'll lay up like this. And all of a sudden one day I saw her just straight out like that. I don't know what was after her, but her paws went straight up, her back legs went out. She went, "Arr!" Like, I don't know, mouse was going to eat her. I'm not real sure what it was. And we have a Malamute too. And I was seeing him every once in a while. He'd be laying there like that, sleeping. And all of a sudden, all of his legs start straightening out, and he raises one leg up like that. Does yours do that?
Absolutely. And the doggies bark softly in their sleep. They're chasing something, and the little
Yes.
paws are going.
Yeah, they're like they're digging.
Sometimes if I put my hand on them, they'll go on back into sleep. But
Sometimes it's really subtle. They'll just be moving a paw a little bit at a time, like reacting to something.
Yeah. But it is kind of strange to watch them all of a sudden, and then you realize, oh, they're dreaming again. That's kind of. And sometimes our cats will just start meowing for no reason whatsoever. They'll just start talking to each other, kind of like they dream together, maybe, I don't know. And we all have some more dreams than others. We all do. Some people dream a whole lot, and some people don't dream on a continuous basis all the time. They dream 1 or 2 times a week, and it'll be something like long, drawn out, stretched out dream. So if you're going through a stressful time in your life, you may stop dreaming. Did you know that? You go down deep, so far down inside of your step that you don't dream. You don't come to that state where you can actually dream or let go. And then sometimes you might have a lot stranger dreams. That's when a lot of times you start dreaming that you're walking around with no clothes on. Or you're walking around and you have different color hair. It's normally when you're going through strange things in your life, your more stressful type of things, you'll do that. And a lot of times we dream about people that we haven't seen or heard from in years. Or you might go somewhere you haven't thought of in years. This sometimes when you dream, it brings you back to school. Then you can't find the right room, you don't have the right books, you forgot your pencils, you're taking the wrong class, or you get there and you look up and go, God, not that teacher again. And you turn around and walk out. You decide, no, you don't want to do that. You don't want to go down that road again that you've been down before with that particular teacher. no matter what it is, you're still going to relieve some type of pressure in your own self through your dreams. When I started working on my service, I still had some notebooks that I had dreams from a very, very long time ago. And I sat down and I read them. I was very surprised at what I did dream, and I was very surprised at how I worked out a lot of the things in my life at that particular time, because my dreams helped me tremendously. When you sleep, your dream isn't completely dead to the world. You're unconscious, but you're still in some form of world. Your body keeps going. You're on automotive nervous system. It controls the emotions and support system that keeps us alive and going. You also have a life support system ready for any signals of danger. Everybody ever gotten in a dream and they felt like they were drowning? In a car wreck? Falling off of anything? Falling down? You've had that? Were you falling off of? What were you falling off of?
Not very much, just the curb.
Dreamed of flying.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, flying.
Oh,
All
yeah.
the time when I was a kid.
Yeah, you
But I didn't fall.
And you didn't fall. Well,
No,
that's
no.
good. That's good. You know, one of the strangest dreams I ever had was I looked up and I saw this. I was standing outside and I looked up and I saw this huge 747 come down, and it landed right in the yard. I know I have a big yard, I know I have land behind me, but I didn't realize it could be that big. The door opened, and little bitty people came out of it. It was like I had a little bunch of midgets, and they all came out of the airplane, and they walked around the plane, and then they disappeared, and there was the plane sitting out in the yard. Big 747 in the backyard. Okay. And all parts of your brain can ignore regular house noises. Did you know that? That when you're in dream state, when you're dreaming and you're in that state, clock can go off. You can have all kinds of things happen in your house, but yet you won't ever hear any of it. And normally if you're sleeping, clock goes off, or you hear a door open, or just a squeak, you're wide awake. You hear a little, little ant run across the floor, you're awake. Normally when you do that, you won't hear any of it. You can program, how many of you program yourself in the mornings to wake up at least by 7 o'clock?
Yes, I used to do that a lot.
Okay, when everybody works, and been on a working thing, I know you go to teach, everything, do you program yourself?
I don't have to. My body is on automatic.
But normally we do that. If we have something we got to do or something, and then our dreams will kind of move in with you. You'll realize you got to be up by 7, and you notice if you're dreaming the early part of your night for sleeping. Now, if you go to sleep whenever you need to, you can dream anytime all night long. But it kind of depends on when you've told your mind that you need to wake up. Now, also, if any of you ever work shift work, go to work, you have a shift, and then you go back and you shift around. Maybe 2 weeks you work one shift, and another 2 weeks. You've done that, Clay?
Long time ago. I don't want it.
No, it's pretty
You don't want
hard.
to review that, huh?
Yeah.
Not anymore, but no, I've done that. It's bad, yeah.
But then that's when you have a hard time dreaming. You can never get down into that real part that you relax. Because you're always going, okay, what week is this? When do I need to get up? Our brain must have its rest to regenerate periods of sleep. And did you know that it will fight to be able to sleep? I didn't know that until I started reading about dreams. One of the worst torture during the war was to be able to keep you awake, and that's what they did. I know the Japanese did that a lot. Prisoners of war, they would keep them awake for long hours and wouldn't let them go to sleep, and they would have to walk. They just walk around all the time. as you know, quite a few people died from that. Their body, we have to have sleep. We have to have that relaxation time where our mind can unwind. And people can actually, and some people did, have mental breakdowns because they were not able to sleep and be able to go out and dream. The process of sleep stops assimilation of the wakeful part of your brain. So if you go to bed and take a book and read, for just a little while when you read, it will be absorbed. That's why that night, if you don't read a murder mystery before you go to sleep, because that's what you'll be dreaming about that night. So be careful what you read before you go to bed. And a lot of times when you do read, then you'll hear those things that go bump in the night, where normally before you would never hear them. And just before you go to sleep and right before you start to wake up, you might have it. Anybody have the jolt right before they go to sleep, or the wake up that's coming back into your body? You've now landed. You're back. These are the things that just stop you from being able to dream. Do you know who actually came up with the beginning part of wanting to remember your dreams and writing them down? In our time was Freud. And the ancient Chinese also, the Indian people went much further. They went further back before the ancient Chinese did as to recording dreams. So from the beginning of time, people have recorded and talked about their dreams. I did not realize that it really did go back that far. It's not new. And one of the oldest and most widespread arts is dream interprenology. Ever since man has been capable of communication, he's been fascinated with the meaning of the strange and frightening things that go on inside of our minds at night. Abraham Lincoln dreamed of his own death. Bismarck, the Iron Ruler of Germany, dreamed of the rise and power of Persia over Germany. And that's what caused our First World War. Adolf Hitler had a dream that saved his life during the war. Many great artists, people, show that what they're going to write, or they're going to paint, or whatever it is they're going to do, they already go through it. And they come from the beginning, they will do whatever it is, and come to the end of it as well. So when you do dream, try to make as much time as you possibly can to write down whatever it is you do dream. A young man that I became crazy about when I was a sophomore in high school, he had later on in life, he was grown and had children, but he passed away. And it took a long time for it to happen, but I finally had a dream about him. And he showed me where he was living, what he was doing, and how his life was. But what he did was he took me up in a helicopter. And I looked down, and I could see down part of the helicopter, and I could see people. People running around, people doing all sorts of things. And finally he said to me, and what we say around here, Peggy says, go to the moon and look at things and see how do they look. I was going through a very stressful time in my life when this happened. And I always thought to myself, well, how unusual that he came back and helped me out. That to me was very fascinating, because at that time I was not doing dream work, and it just really surprised me when this happened. Do you know who the first people were that really started doing anything without a dream? The Romans, for one thing. They were some of the first ones that people started with. And some of the other, we had dream temples, where the Greeks would go, and they would sleep and dream. And then they'd always try to remember what their dreams were. We do a lot of dreaming with linking our past with our right now. And we do also dream of our future as well. Has anybody had that? Has anybody had where they dream of their past, they dream of right now, and they dream of what they think their future's going to be? Nobody's had that type of dream? You have, Becky? What did you dream?
Well, the first one that I recognized was an electric light orchestra concert. And it was the first time that I saw those necklaces that have like neon. You break them up and you shake them and they turn neon. You put them on. And I could see those. That's what I dreamed.
How about you, Lena?
You mean like a past, present, and future dream?
Mm-hmm.
Nah, I guess not. I do dream a lot, but I can't really put my finger on that, you know.
Most of the time, I think sometimes we wake up in the mornings and we go, what did I dream? What was it? What did I think about? What was I dreaming? You know, because we do that a lot of times because we kind of look to ourselves, I really wasn't dreaming. I really don't have that ability to dream and remember and go where I need to go. What about you, Cheryl?
I have dreams. I have really interesting dreams. Years ago when I had a stroke, after about 4 months and I was into recovery, my husband, who is deceased, had been deceased for a number of years, almost every night would come and take me, we'd go somewhere. We'd go to New York. We did a lot of traveling, local traveling. And he would come and take me, we'd go out and eat. It was wonderful and that really helped me recover. But almost every night for a year. So that was absolutely, I would wake up and I would feel so good and it was just incredible.
Well, that's one good way to heal from all of this.
Absolutely. I really needed that.
You need to heal.
Really needed
Before I really got into working with dreams for a lot of people, I had a most unusual dream. I had, through marriage, a uncle. And I wasn't very close to him at all. You know, he just was what he was, and I didn't ever go around him too often much or anything, but he passed away. Well, I'm having this dream, and I look down, and I'm in this middle of this room with all these people, and a casket just came floating by, and it went all around, and all of a sudden I heard her say, look at the casket, and I looked at the casket, and I realized he was in the casket. But that's all it was. It was just a casket. Well, that's a bit unusual. You know, he didn't open. I didn't know. But I did know who was in the casket. Now we have a dark side in our dreams. Did you know that? We do. In your dream, does someone act spitefully towards a vulnerable person, and then proceed to humiliate that victim by rubbing his nose in a situation? You know that. You could just be the premature of the, I cannot see it, the nastiness was your shadow. So you do have a shadow party when you're in your dreams. And you might recognize the meanness in your long-buried childhood memories of being bullied or less than confident child. If so, you give that childhood self and move on. So you have to give it permission to allow it to come out inside of you.
Well, I don't remember mine a lot, and I took a streak where I was trying to record them, because I couldn't, to write them,
Yeah.
I just have to get completely awake and get my stuff. But then I decided I'd record them. Well, Lord God, you ought to listen to them the next day.
There's a lot of rumbling?
Yes. So, yeah.
All right, how How many of you dream about being naked in public? No? Oh,
No, I don't know.
yeah. Yeah, I've had that. Uh-huh.
I didn't know.
Yeah, when I was in graduate school, that happened a lot. And I knew then it was insecurity.
Yeah.
And I'd be in a dream and I'd be right in the middle of church. And I'm standing there naked and I'm thinking, well, I guess this is okay. I guess that's you know, if I'm here, it must be all right. But then I'd start getting very self-conscious. And, yeah, graduate school was very stressful and, you know, you're always questioning yourself and you feel kind of dumb and you're insecure, very insecure.
Have any of you dreamed going somewhere, getting on in a taxi or something, you come realize when you get through you don't have any clothes on?
Yeah.
You dream
When I was living in Cincinnati, and I just really wanted to move back here. And I don't know, I was always dreaming about being flying somewhere, and one point I was on the back of the back of the plane came off, and I was just hanging on for dear life. Oh Lord! Yeah, I don't know. I had lots of dreams about flying, and I think just struggles for trying to get things worked around, which I did finally get me a job here and move here. But it took some doing, and you know.
How many of you dream about being lost? Can't find your way around.
I dreamed about going to places where there were classes and attending the classes. What the classes were about, I couldn't tell you, but I've dreamed of attending classes and seeing a few people that I knew there.
Well, I dreamed about being in school, going on through school, walked in, I dreamed about going to school, walked in the door, turned around, walked through all the hallways, looked at everything on one side. This is not where I want to go, and left.
These weren't those types of classes. They were like classes that I was aware of that were at inner planes for more spiritual enlightenment.
Any of you dream about being lost?
Pardon?
Lost.
I've had reoccurring dreams of being chased, you know, by what I assumed to be monsters. And it was like a reoccurring dream when I was a child. But I never saw what was chasing.
What was chasing you? Didn't know
I didn't know what
chasing?
it was. I just remember going around my grandmother and grandfather's house and the ivy that used to grow everywhere. Just being chased by something which I thought was scary.
Anybody dreamed about having to go somewhere and they were having a dinner there and you walked in and you didn't like anything on the table? Yeah, I've had that type of dream, and I like everything. I mean, the only two things, I can't stand liver and English peas. So the two things I don't like. You know, I love everything. I eat most everything. Of course, my mother said you either eat it, I cooked it, or else. You sat there at the table if you didn't eat it. But yeah, I've had that. I've had dreams where I've gone and everything on the table was nothing but candy. I'm not a big candy person. So I had dreams where I've gone and we were going to go in to eat and there wasn't anything on the table at all. And I've had dreams about going in to eat in a big banquet thing and you got there and there were no chairs to sit in. You just kind of had to walk down through there and look at all of it. All the food was on the table, but there was no chairs. You weren't going to sit in. So I guess it was very much banquet style for you to pick and choose, you know. How many of you have had dreams about you wanted to buy something, but when you opened up your purse, you had no money? Yeah. I've had that type of dream. Or when I looked in my purse, I looked down in there and there was just change.
No, that happens in reality.
No, that's
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, what happened?
That's why I was laughing.
Yeah. How about work? Now, I know you taught school forever, so did you have dreams about, oh my God, that kid's going to come back?
I still do.
Or you walked in, looked, and realized that I've had dreams about this. When I went to a classroom, I walked in and realized I'm in the wrong classroom. This is not, I'm not supposed to be in this classroom. I'm supposed to be in a different classroom. You know, things like that. So a lot of your dreams depend on what you're going through in your life at that particular time. Are you stressful? Or what's happening? But you'll have weird dreams even when you're not going through anything stressful in your life. Yeah, and how many of you have met people in your life, I mean in your dreams, that you knew in this lifetime, but they were the same person, but they looked different. You knew it was the same person you were dreaming about, but they either had green hair or pink hair, or I've had that dream, that type of thing. So whatever dream that you have, it gives you some type of aha as a general rule. And it might take a week, 2 weeks before you ever get the aha. When I lived on Kwajalein, as everybody knows, I'm not a big water person. You know, I mean, I go out in the ocean, do all that. But I kept having a reoccurring dream that I would be out in the ocean and a fish would come up out of the water, and it was much bigger than me, and it would just walk right over to the boat. It would just walk across the water and walk right over to the boat and look at me and go, really? You know, it was talking to me. Yeah, so I've had
What did it say?
Well, it would just look at me and just start to like talk, and like we were going to have this conversation, and the next thing you know, it would go away. Yeah. How about work? Any of you dream about having to work more, work less, or not wanting to go to work? That would be just not be normal. You know, not wanting to go back. How about landmarks? Have you ever dreamed about wanting to go to somewhere that's a big landmark, and you get there and it's just crappy? I had that kind of dream. Going to Hawaii. Great. We're going to go off to other islands. Going to travel the islands. So we go to the one where one is that keeps blowing up. The volcanoes keep going on it. So that's where we're going to go. So we go and I get there. And the night that I get there, I had this dream that as the volcano was going off, I was in this little house like that in the volcano, and all these volcanoes around us were going off like that. And I was still sitting in the little house. Nothing ever happened to me, but I realized pretty quickly that I was manifesting the fact that something was going to happen with the volcanoes going off. But nothing ever happened at all, except for the fact that I wake up 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. We were on a military base, and they were doing cadence outside. They were running and doing cadence, and so I was already exhausted, and then that's what I had to listen to. But have you ever had dreams where you went somewhere you knew you always wanted to go, and when you got there, you were so disappointed? Yeah, I've had that type of dream. Yeah, when you got to where it is that you always wanted to, and it was any good. You enjoyed yourself when you got there. Well, tell me what kind of dreams you had that you think that when you got through you'll remember forever and ever and ever.
I find that we have all kinds of different dreams, and it seems like the ones that I'm processing in life, I forget. But there's other dreams, like what Joy mentioned, that I will go to this place of learning. Yes, there are certain dreams that I don't think I'll ever forget, because they have the flavor of truth to them. While others, I'm just processing stress, life, etc. And those I forget, they're very fleeting.
Do you think it's a dream when you have someone come to you that has passed on?
Oh, yeah.
That it's not a dream, but they are entering into your world? I don't know if that's necessarily a dream. I think that's an experience that they have come to you. But maybe that's my perception that's not in keeping with what your understanding of a dream is, I've had visits from my mother, who had passed on for years, so vivid that I knew when I did wake up, the first thing I wanted to do was to go call my sister and said, Mother came last night.
Oh, I've had those.
And then I would stop and I'd say, but she's been deceased
Yeah.
for many, many years. I'm thinking that that's not so much a dream, but it's a
Is it visitation?
experience. I'm sorry?
A visitation?
Yeah,
Yeah.
from someone who has moved on to higher levels of being out of embodiment.
Well, I've had that type of thing. And my father has been dead since I was pregnant with Tiffany. That's when he passed away. And when I was on Quadrant, I had a dream one night that he came to me. And he looked up and he told me, he showed me this gigantic building, huge building. And he said, that is the building I have been in since I have been dead. He was recovering from alcoholism. But he said he had stayed from the time he died until then, that's the building that he was in. And that's where he stayed. And he turned around and he said, look. And I looked down and he had five sisters. And two of his sisters were standing down below where I was looking down. And they said, we live over here. They didn't live in the same place he did. But they lived over there. So I thought that was very interesting, but they came and told me where they were living.
Did you see an address?
No, it was just usually land, you just a landscape thing. Tiffany came to me pretty quick when she passed on. And she showed me a gigantic, it looked like a bassinet to me. It's exactly what it looked like. She had gotten in the bassinet, closed the thing on it, and was in that bassinet. And then she would come back to me, she's come back to me different times and said she got out of the bassinet, but then when she got tired or while I needed to, she got back in the bassinet and would stay in the bassinet. And I said, well, what is it? Why? And she said, that's where I heal from. She passed away from cancer. She said she would go in there and that would help her heal. And after Jim passed away, he showed me a television. And he said, if you want to connect things you need to know or things just going on, whatever you need to know, he said, I can connect with you through this television. But he couldn't come directly to me, so I did. I went to the television. And I had a dream before I ever even thought about coming to, I had thought about really coming and staying in the church. I just started coming to the church, and Peggy was in the dream. And that's who it was, and she was talking to me in the dream about coming to the church. And then I turned around, and part of it, then she started walking down the aisle like she was leaving, and I was saying, wait a minute, I got more questions. But she walked out, but she left me standing there thinking, okay, I made the connection that I needed to make, to come back.
Was this before you met her or after you met her?
No, I had met her.
Okay.
I had met her. I had come to the church, but just a couple of times, that type of thing. But, she came back, and then I saw her. So your dream life can give you lots of answers. It can take you places that you never thought about going. It can help you do things in your life that you never also thought about being able to do. Before I really started quilting and got serious about quilting and did start really doing a lot, sewing, doing a lot of sewing. I did a lot of needlework and all those kind of things, but I never really sat down and decided, okay, what do I want to home in on to sew? I made clothes, didn't enjoy that, didn't enjoy any of all that. So I said, well, I'm just going to quit. I'm not going to sew anymore. And I had a dream about a quilt. And that's how I ended up going, okay, that's where I need to put my work in on the quilt. So you can have lots of dreams that give you lots of information, that can take you places, and you can learn a lot through your dream life.
The light of Christ flows through us as we give and receive God's blessing, prosperity and abundance.
Okay, as you know, we're not doing cup sipping around here on communion or anything, but we do have something for communion today. In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, and by the authority vested in me, by the order of Melchizedek, and the holy orders of the Christos, the channel of the center of light, I bless and charge this communion today. Now you should
Delsie, these chocolates, chocolate chocolates and peanut butter are so nice, so I'm gonna choose one.
Peanut butter. Yeah, oh
Thank you. There we go, they're in the bench.
Thank you.
No, darling, they're not peanut butter. When I put them up because they're not.
Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be with God as creator.
take us places
Worthy all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every breath I take, let this be my joyous song. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me.
Thank you, everybody, for coming. Happy dreaming. Come back and let me know what you dream about. Let me know how it goes. If you're working on something, too, I've done that quite a few times. We'll put it in my mind that I know I want to work on something or learn something or do something. You know, kind of come up with a aha from my dream and answer. So go off and have a wonderful week. Enjoy yourself and have fun. Thank you.